大家好，我是叶子老师，
我是莎拉老师，
我们是香港一所国际学校的中文老师。
今天我们想和大家聊聊教育圈的行业内幕和八卦。
莎拉老师，你觉得在香港当老师累吗？每天工作几个小时啊？
很累。除了在学校工作呢，回家我们还要工作，加上备课、批改，每天工作9到10个小时是比较正常的。忙的时候可能12个小时，遇上出卷或者写评语的时候，那整个周末就是贡献给工作啦。
对，那根据调查显示呢，在芬兰当老师啊，每天只要工作6.4个小时。
哇，好幸福啊！
对，其实，在不同的国家当老师的体验很不一样。
我们呢采访了多位在全球不同国家和地区有教学经验的老师，那分享他们在16个不同国家的教学经历，
还有文化冲击、工资待遇、社会地位等等的行业内幕。想去海外工作的老师千万不要错过。
I think it really depends on the age, you know.
Well, kids are kids. In primary, kids are pretty much kids. I would say the main difference would probably be when I was working in Paraguay, which is in South America. Culturally, they're a little bit louder than other countries. When I think about high school, when I think about Asia, actually, kids are generally a lot more quiet and focused. Yeah. Paraguay would be louder because of the culture.
I used to teach in Sweden. They were maybe more used to the art subjects, writing. Maths wasn't really their main priority. The pupils here really care about maths, and they really want to do well, so that's really good.
In Germany, students are very aware of their rights. And so if you want to take, like if a student is using their phone in class and you ask them to stop, they'll say, "It's my right, I can use my phone." You are not allowed to take it from them because you're touching their personal property, and they're very, very aware of what their rights are. You have to kind of get a good relationship so you can say, "Come on, set it down and we'll come back to it later."
有一次，一个美国团来中国游学的时候，来参加体验了一堂中国的课程。在这个课程上，我发现美国学生更加踊跃发言。虽然他们是第一次在新的环境和新的课堂尝试新的课程，但是在拘谨的情况下，他们还是对老师的问题知无不言，言无不尽。
In France, I worked in a high school. So there were like many cases of students that they wanted to be very cool in front of the teachers or in front of their friends. So there were like few discipline problems.
So I make a point to make sure that kids are forming their own opinions, and that does sort of include maybe challenging authority more than maybe again a traditional classroom. I want them to kind of debate and form opinions.
In Asia, oftentimes it will be even perceived as rude or disrespectful to question that authority, to question like, yeah, but why? Who are you to tell me that this is that way?
Generally speaking, students from Western culture are more active and ask more questions.
In Spain and Turkey, you will gain the confidence of the students like very easily. They used to be very active and very sporty in general.
In countries in Europe, the relationship between teacher and student, it may appear very disrespectful. It may appear like very rude to other cultures, other countries, but it's just the way the norm is here. They question the teacher, they talk back to the teacher.
内地国际学校的孩子呢，很喜欢表达，因为在一个比较自由的环境下去学习和生活，所以这些孩子呢也非常乐于表达自己的情感，还有自己的感想。
Students in Japan will ask their friend for confirmation. They'll say like, "Is this okay?" And Western teachers see that as they're cheating or they're not answering themselves, but it's like a cultural thing for them to kind of confer before they give their opinion.
Well, in Hong Kong, I haven't had to discipline too much. It's more about explaining what I expect to happen in the classroom. Honestly, most of the pupils stick to the rules, and I think if they did do something wrong, it would be more about asking them to come and see me at break time so I can explain what they did wrong and what they should do next time. Whereas definitely in the UK, you had to have more strict guidelines of it.
In Hong Kong, the kids are very well behaved. It's that they are not very creative. And in general, especially in the high grades, they have a very low self-confidence. This is quite shocking for me because they are very good academically and also in sports. They always want to tell the friends and the teacher that they do everything very bad. And this is not true. There are many students who are super good, but they want to show the people that they are bad. Also because they don't show off, the families and the teachers teach the kids to be very humble.
Discipline. These schools are all international schools, so it's usually like a mix of different cultures together, and probably a more laid-back approach to education than probably a traditional classroom.
So the school that I taught at in Japan had kids from 54 countries. It was 20% Swedish. When we had conferences, we would say things like, so what are your expectations for your child? And the parents would say, I just want them to be happy. All the Northern Europeans, for kids under 15, they just wanted their kids to be happy. And the Asian parents were more concerned with, how are they doing? What path are they on? What is their how are they doing in comparison with other people?
Hey Mom, I gave blood today. Did you know I'm blood type A? A? Why not A+?
And I think there's a lot more parent pressure on students, especially in Korea. So in Korea, for sure, if a kid got a bad grade, for example, their parents would often talk to them very harshly. And so we just had to be really careful with those students.
The pupils here are definitely very respectful. Their parents probably teach them to be very respectful. More in England, if a pupil is misbehaving, the parents might ask the teacher to do something to improve the child. Whereas I think parents here, if I was to tell them that their child was misbehaving, they would talk to the child and say, you need to change it, rather than talking to the teacher and saying, you need to change this.
By the parents and the families that you have to think about, you have to consider what the family's needs are, if they have some specific needs and some special needs. Sometimes they're worried that you will think they're different.
Getting along with colleagues, as long as everyone's in education for the right reason, you tend to get along with your colleagues because you should be, ideally. It does differ in different places, and part of that might be cultural. So when I think of Thailand, for example, there's just a different way of communication. Some confusion would happen sometimes in meetings because they have something called saving face. Maybe that's here as well, and I don't know about that yet because I'm new to Hong Kong. But if there's a miscommunication or if someone is to blame, they'll go around it. Maybe someone will say yes, 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 but actually in their head they're thinking no. So that's new for me. That was new for me then. And I had to really figure out and really kind of investigate what people were trying to tell me.
In Germany and in Australia, there was very much a feeling that you could make fun of Americans. So I'm American, and of course there's lots of crazy and horrible things that is happening in America. But nobody would actively insult a British person or insult a Canadian. But everyone thought it was free and right to say bad things about America or Americans. And that would often cause tension between American teachers and other teachers. In Japan that never happened, but it's in Germany and Australia, especially in Australia.
Speaking of culture shock, the level of complaint might be different from one place to another.
So England, Sweden, Hong Kong, I think food tends to bond people. That's probably the best way to get to know colleagues, is over food.
还是比较的平等的，我们和领导之间呢没有明显的阶层，我们可以表达我们真实的意见，一起讨论方案和规则等等。比如说啊，最近因为这个疫情复课，我们需要非常迅速的做出反应，以及制定一些课表或者上课的形式。那么我们的领导呢就会听取大家的意见，然后再做出决定。
When I arrived to the different countries, everything new for me. The school, a new house, the language, everything, absolutely everything. In France, in Austria, and in Turkey, actually I had a very good welcome. Some teachers came to pick me up to the airport. They helped me absolutely with everything. I felt a lot of support.
我发现我们中国的老师在接受临时的任务的时候可能比较坦然，那么对于他们来说，他们更希望对他们的任务能够提早通知，然后提前规划，这样子他们才更有时间做自己的事情。
In Hong Kong, it's only a professional relationship. Like normally the teachers are like very individualist. They don't used to work as a group.
I was able to speak with them in Japanese because a lot of Japanese people are hesitant to speak in English because they think they have to be perfect. So unless they've lived overseas, they can be very hesitant to speak. There's usually a wall. I find that everywhere. There seems to be a wall of like local teachers and Western teachers, and I hate that, and it really needs to be more crossed over.
I think it's more about the culture of the school than of the individual. If the school has a collaborative, inclusive culture, then we're more likely to collaborate with each other.
更多采访，请关注下集，我们会在下周日10点准时更新。
你还有什么想看的话题吗？请给我们私信或留言哦。喜欢我们视频，别忘了点赞。